You know what I've realized about leadership over the past 30 years? It's not really about strategy or vision, although that helps, or you even being the smartest person in the room. It's really about your willingness to say the uncomfortable thing, to have the hard conversation. The problem is, no one ever teaches you how to do that. So, how it typically works, we all know this, you get promoted, you get a new title, you might get a bigger office, you might even get more money, not always. And suddenly everyone expects you to know how to lead. Now, sure, you may have demonstrated some leadership skills on projects or even hit some numbers, whatever it might be. But that is very different than consistently being able to lead people. And the people that promoted you, well, they got promoted the same way you did. And so they're all still trying to figure out this whole leadership thing too. And let's face it, a lot of us step into roles that we're not really ready for. And that's not necessarily bad. You need to push yourself a little bit. But taking on a leadership role, it's kind of like being thrown into the deep end of a pool. Everyone assumes you can swim, but most of us are just trying not to drown. I mean, let's face it, it's not easy to tell somebody, hey, you're not performing up to what we expect, or your attitude sucks, or you're just not working out. I mean, no one walks you through how to do that. It's kind of all on the job training. You're really good at your job, but you might not be really good at interacting with people or telling people bad news. And I've avoided those conversations in the past, not because I didn't know that they needed to happen, but I didn't want to deal with the fallout. I didn't want to be the bad guy. I didn't want to hurt someone's feelings. And if I'm being honest, I would tell myself that I was protecting them from the bad news, right? I was going to figure out a way to make it work without having to have the conversation. But in reality, I was just protecting myself from having that conversation. And every time I delayed it, the problem didn't get smaller. The problem just got worse. The tension increased. The team felt it. I felt it. And when you avoid those hard conversations, you're not protecting anyone. You're just slowly eroding trust from everyone around you. And that's the part that really no one tells you, or no one tells you how to figure that out and navigate that. Good leadership really just isn't about being liked. It's about having hard, honest discussions, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's painfully uncomfortable, because the longer you wait, the harder it gets. And the people that you're trying to protect, they usually wish you just had the conversation sooner anyway. I mean, everybody kind of feels what's going on. So you're pretending like it's a secret, but it really isn't. And most people just want you to rip the band-aid off and have the hard conversation. I mean, it's a leader's job to coach, to mentor, to help people make better decisions at work and in their careers. And if I avoid those conversations, well, then I'm not doing my job. I'm not a leader. I'm just kind of a boss. But it's not always easy to find just the right words. The something that's clear and gets the message across, but also doesn't destroy someone's ego. When you're mentoring young people, especially, you have to be really careful how you deliver news to them, because you can really hurt their confidence, and that can affect them for a really long time. But again, no one teaches you that. You learn by trial and error, which is not fun for you, and it is definitely not fun for your staff that have to watch you fumble through it and make a lot of mistakes. Or you might be one of the lucky ones that's got some magical power to deliver bad news to people. But if you're like most of us, we just avoid having the conversation altogether. Now, what I've learned over the past 30 years, it doesn't get easier with time. You might have learned how to soften the message a little bit or even anticipate some of the reactions, but you never quite get rid of that pit in the stomach feeling that you're going to get right before you're about to deliver some bad news to someone or some harsh feedback to someone, especially if it's somebody you like on your team. I liken it to like stage fright. It kind of never goes away. The truth is, avoiding the hard conversation, it just helps no one, right? And it delays the damage to you, to your team, and especially to the person you're telling yourself you're trying to protect. Leadership is hard. That's just a fact. And you don't magically become a leader just because you get a title. It's something you have to grow into. And frankly, I'm still learning that even after 30 years. I'd love to hear how you've dealt with some leadership challenges. Drop me some ideas or thoughts in the comments. And I really appreciate this time. Thank you for listening.